Hello and welcome. I'm Cynthia Miller, and this is my in-depth process to creating a vision board for 2023. I've got out these beautiful cards from my friend. I've got some black construction paper, and I'm going to use these pastels to create a vision of what I've had, of the energy that we create. And so it's going to, all these colors are going to be part of this, and I wanted the black backdrop for this. So I'm just reading my card. I like to put some essential oils in the diffuser. I have my stone here with me. It's always been a pillar. It's lovely. I just didn't put it in the camera here when I was doing the work, but however you can make your space sacred for yourself, private, quiet. I'm going to just get started here, and you can just watch as I talk you through this really meditative process of creating this vision of our energy that we create. So of course we're the root chakra is the connection to the earth. It flows downward, and this really feels like it's the base, the foundation. I'm sort of really feeling the push of the swirls along the floor, and you can make the colors and the chalk very distinct, or you can sort of smudge it in there too, which I love doing. I love getting my fingers into it, and just sort of feel that connection to the earth. And if you're lucky enough to be able to sit in a comfortable space and watch this, you can almost go into a meditation. And I think that just sort of moving through this idea that you're connecting with Mother Earth, your root chakra is connecting. There's this sort of feel of flow between the two. You can sort of feel the steady, stable foundation of Mother Earth. She's holding you. And the next chakra energy center is the sacral chakra energy center. This is sometimes seen as a beautiful orange color. It is our creativity. It is our reproduction. It is our manifestation. It is the gut. It is the reproductive organs, and the lower part of us that has this connection also to the root chakra. I mean, our sacral goes out horizontally to the earth. The root chakra goes down into the earth, but it is a connective energy that flows back and forth, in and out. And you can imagine a feeling of connectedness as you build upon this activation and awareness of these chakra centers. Feel the flow upward from Mother Earth. The next beautiful yellow colored chakra is the solar plexus. And this is really our self moving in a direction forward. Once we've manifested and sort of living our truth, this really shines. But until we feel that, you can imagine this part of you moving you forward. This is your will, your power, your sort of sense of self, and where it all is projected from, is how I look at this center. This beautiful yellow energy that is just like the sun. It is where you shine. It is this whole essence of who you are is this solar plexus, that ability to move into life. And again, just softening the edges and blending it in. It's this beautiful energy that goes out, and as you can see, it creates this bubble around us, this beautiful energy of flow. And so you want to always keep them open, keep your chakras flowing, keep them light and airy. If you feel the need to protect yourself, then it just look at the fear that is there If you feel the need to protect yourself, look at what you are protecting yourself from and see if there's a way that you can openly bring that to feel at peace. Now here's the heart center, and this one goes out the furthest. This is, I love the color of green that I've chosen for this. It's like a lime, zest for life kind of a feel to it. Get out your lime essential oils for this one if you want. It's that zest for life is what they call lime essential oil, and it's this beautiful love that you live in. When you live in love and live from your heart, everything just flows so easily, and you're able to enjoy and create your zest for life. You're very much in tune with what makes you happy and what you need, and you're not forsaking others, but you're looking after your own needs when you're filled with love, when you're living from your heart. This is a beautiful, beautiful place to be. And the next one we're going to do is the throat chakra, and I see this one as a column of blue fluorescent sort of translucent columns that flow from the top of your throat chakra to the bottom of your throat chakra. And I mean, it's the life air that you're creating, this flow of movement in your throat chakra to open up, to breathe, to open up, to communicate, and of course it's all about listening too, so it's connected to the ears as well, the whole sinus, nose, ears connection. And then the indigo, this beautiful deep violet color, is the third eye, and this one is very focused, and as you can see, they're all sort of in their own alignment. This is, I think by the end of that, I realized that I was drawing myself, my own energy. And the idea that the black was in the background was it was how I saw it, and I thought that this would really be a nice sort of rendition of the vision that I saw. And I think it's a really important thing to get centered, to get aligned, to feel settled in a place where then you can vision. Then you can take the time to create the vision board or do the exercise, however you want to do it, whatever manifestation you want to create, and making this to make that happen. Now I finish up with the crown chakra here, of course, with a lighter color. And I really see this as the largest of all. It has the highest number of vortexes, apparently, and I've never actually looked at photographs of this, but this is how I saw it. This is how I saw it. Crown chakra, connected to divine energy. It is what gives us life, what gives us spark, what gives us a soul and who we are. Blessings to you, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the video as we take you through this process of making a visioning board. Visioning, very important part of your coming years. So there is the final product of creating a feeling of being grounded and prepared, ready to move forward with the next step. So this step requires that you create the 10 spheres from the Tree of Life Kabbalah, and this really is an energetic, sacred geometric pattern. This is a small section of the flower of life with all the circles were drawn. I did this by hand, measured out the centers and angles and everything else, and then from that I extracted this configuration. And as you can see, there's many things that it represents: mercy, eternity, foundation, even beauty, judgment, wisdom, that sort of thing. So all of these things are said to be part of our life, our tree of life, what we're our souls, I guess, are really made of. And so what I want to do is incorporate this into a pattern of colors that I'm going to paint on a grid. So I am a watercolor artist, and if you're not an artist, you can possibly cut out pieces of paper to match this. But I'm just going to take some water and spray it on. I do a little bit of prep here. I've got my colors ready to go. I've got my vision already sort of set in my mind here. I'm not just creating as I go. I know what I want to create. It's a grid with different colors that represent different parts of my life. And so I have the 10 spheres in the center of the grid. I'm starting with the reddish pink color in the upper right hand corner, which is my love and my love relationships, my intimacy, my sort of personal life. And the one down on the bottom left that I am moving on to, because I don't really want them to blend together too much. And like I said, this is a meditative process for somebody to watch. This is a travel and recreation center on the bottom right hand side. And then here, it's very similar in color, so I've added that right in there. This is the career section. And I decided to do a really sort of stone color sort of image that would create a foundation, like actually put the blocks in place in color and everything. So that is my idea for this particular section here. And I'm going to let this dry in between and just, keep making additions to the different squares to get them to all then finally come together. And let me see, the next one I do is the yellow. And, oh no, this is sort of the greenish yellow. I decided to put the yellow in the center. This is the green. So this is family, friends, relationships, that sort of thing. And it's all centered around the interior again. Top left, beautiful mauve, purpley color. This is the abundance and wealth square. And as you can see, I've got my card printed out. I made it online, and I wanted to have a grid to go by. I didn't want to just sort of make this up as I go, because it means something to me to have these colors where they are, to have the circles where they are, and to make things make sense to me when I look at this. And I like the colors because it does add something to it. And you'll see as I go along. So this is more of a bluish green. I add lots in as I go. It's very loose. It's for the background. I'm going to be making little drawings and writing on top of this. And so I want it to be a color that stands out, but also sort of goes into the background. So I play with this for quite some time to get it to be the colors that I want. And that one turns out to be a little bit more green. And there I put on the yellow for the center. And this is really my physical health and spirituality. And you'll see more detail of this as we go here. So it takes a while to sort of get the squares the way I want them. I've got the red coming down way too far, and I've got the yellow going up too far, and it's sort of fun to just let the paints do what they're going to do. But I will finish up with the one on the direct right hand side, and that one turns out to be I think that one's a white one. Yeah, from what I can tell. I've added a little bit of color later on, but one up top is orange. That's manifesting with the Creator. That's your crown and creation. So, and then the one I left white on the right-hand side is the creative communication. Yeah, so I will post here shortly the labeled grid. So have fun with that. Either print something out, make something on Canva maybe. If you can bring in the circles, that's great. I think that really means a lot. When you look at it, you've got that right in the center, and then this grid just sort of flourishes from the rest of the sides. And yeah, we'll go into more detail shortly. So here we are after I have labeled the grid. I finished putting on the very light backwash of the colors for the different squares. And now I'm going to take some paint and I'm going to add a little bit of detail. And I'm just going to fast forward through this to give you an idea of how I can sort of blossom and grow into something that is representative of how I'm feeling right now and what I want to create in the future. Enjoy. Take a nice deep breath. And when you're thinking about this particular part of the grid, the knowledge and personal growth, I start here, it's the lower left. I think that my personal growth is important, so I want to start with something that means something to me, that I want to expand on. And in the end, I end up painting a little spring garden. So the energy of fresh newness, the idea that I can spring from the earth and create something as beautiful as a flower garden, and just the whole idea, the whole energy of blossoming. So just imagine this energy while you're creating this piece of your vision board. This idea that you're growing and learning and becoming wise, and we equate it to the garden, this spring garden, all the things that grow so quickly in the spring garden. Just imagine the direction, the vision, the clarity, the blossoming, the blooming. And we've moved on to a very similar part of the grid, family, friends, and relationships in this one. And this is like a lush green forest. So very similar to the spring garden, it has this energy of sort of cleansing energy. The air is being cleansed in the forest is what I'm imagining, that feeling. So it's like a breath of fresh air. The family friends relationships are like a breath of fresh air. This idea that you love being with them, it's easy to be with them. You're both caring from both sides, and very, very loving. And I moved on to create this beautiful rose in the love and relationship part of the grid. And so this is the intimacy, the person that I'm spending my time with. And if you don't have someone in your life, if you're single, then it is you. It is your love for yourself. Gone on to the creative communication. I'm trying to do something creative here. It's like a sort of a grid of lines, and then in the travel and recreation grid, I'm making it exciting. I'm putting some energy into it. I'm sort of looking at it like it is this energy of up and out, and this sort of excitement, the energy of exploding, and sort of bringing that into the creative communication as well. This is I've got on here that this whole idea of traveling with the one I love, having that creative communication, so that we're able to do that. Like these three on the right hand side are quite connected, and I finally found something here that I wanted to sort of expand on, and it's creating a vision of a place where we could travel to. And it's nothing specific, although I think it feels more tropical than anything, which is what I'd like to do this year. And so I'm really putting this in as a, like I said, a backdrop. This is the idea that the travel and recreation will happen in a tropical place. And that's all I know about it, but it is something that I believe that I want to have happen this year. So I'm going to just play with that, bring those soothing blue colors into it, the idea that there's water there, a little bit of a backdrop with the island and trees on the side. And it's so easy for me to sort of express myself this way. If you're not able to paint, then just bring in pictures. Make a grid with these particular colors in them, and make a grid that you can then write upon, because that is what I'm going to be doing. I just find this very relaxing to go through this, and I wanted you to really see the idea of expressing yourself through creating the grid, through the creation of the grid for your manifestation. And just getting back to, yes, building the foundation. So this is the career section in the bottom and center, also labeled as the kingdom in the 10 spheres. And it makes sense. Next one up is, foundation. So it's really where, it's not who I am, but it's what I am doing and my need to do for not only monetary reasons, but for, sort of professional career, the feeling that I am doing what I'm meant to do, what I'm meant to do to contribute to this world. So to feel that you're in a place where you're meant to do what you're doing is very, very sort of really at peace with it. If you're not at peace with what you're doing, then that's something that maybe you could put on here to help you to open up to something more. And just putting some detail into the family and friends relationships part of the grid now, making it look more like it is a lush green forest. My relationships are giving, serving, they're solid. We work all as one. We are steady. We work in community. Like a lush green forest that survives with other plants and trees and animals, and all in this perfect balance. And back to the knowledge and personal growth part of the grid with some flowers, creating this spring garden, this idea that I am pushing out of the soil the springtime of the year, the fresh and sort of multitudes of growth that happens this time of year. Everything is also so green and fresh. And so this idea that I'm blossoming, this is how I wish to feel this year in growing and learning and becoming more educated. I want to feel like I'm blossoming, like I'm really pushing up and moving out and, sharing the love. So I have clarity, I have vision of what I'm doing, and I know the direction that I'm going. This is all how a flower grows. It grows up and out and blossoms. So moving on to the sort of purpley, hazy abundance and wealth square, I had a vision of crystals growing everywhere out of the cave-like sort of a view. And so I'm just sketching things out here. And this is really where I have abundance in my life that I can help others. There's an overflowing, overwhelming shift of ability to help others, and plenty to go around. And so that's, sort of a different approach to the abundance square, but it feels like it is overflowing. And you can see I've done a lot to the center square, the crown. I've put a nice spiral in there, and now I'm adding some brighter pigment to my heart, and just make this really stand out. And I feel really comfortable and assured that my private relationship is solid and strong, and I do love spending time with Gary. And I put in here, my heart is open for the one I love, and then I put his initials. And so that's sort of how I ended that one, because it feels like it's sort of snowballing, like it just keeps getting better. So maybe that's a good vision to have. It just keeps getting better as you get older in a relationship with someone. It just keeps getting better. Now, this creative communication, I kept putting these marks in here, and I really feel like it is sort of a message. And it is set out so that it is clear and direct, and we're working together. We're, as I mentioned before, these three squares on the right hand side, they all work together. I travel, and I have clear communication with the one I love, and I have a very, very interesting common goals and ideas that come out in who we are together. And we sort of have a good understanding of each other. But in this creative communication, it must be intentional. So just put that into it, the intentional opening up to communicate clearly, concisely, openly, truthfully, honestly, and with integrity, and to be able to listen and hear what is meant to be heard as well. It goes both ways. So this is everything in general, but as I mentioned, it just sort of feels like it's close to this love relationship square as well. So if you're working on communicating better, think about that area that you want to have better communication, clearer. It's more easy. It flows. There's understanding. There's love. No more reading between the lines. It's open, and you feel very calm and settled with it. And working on the career kingdom square, this is fulfilling, solid foundation, perfect connections, enjoyable, sustainable, stable, clear, concise, progressive, working, growing. It is a solid foundation. So just imagine that happening in your business, in your profession, in your purpose in life, if that is your career, and being able to transmute it into something that grows as you grow. I like the way that the circle shows through in the center for kingdom, but I'm able to create foundations, and to me it feels like architecture. That's the foundation. That is what foundation means, is strong structures. And so that in my physical mind is what my business is. And I mean, whether you have a small Reiki practice, or you do accounting, or you have a yoga growing huge on in what you do, it's all the same. It's how you show up there. So if you have a solid foundation, you're going to do okay. So we're working along, just adding the images, the words, lush green forests, to the friendship and family square, blocking those letters intentionally to make those words pop out. The relationships that we have in our friendships and our family relationships, distant ones even, and maybe even talking about ancestors. It's all here in this beautiful forest. So just imagine the energy here, steady and progressive, growing towards the sun. You can close your eyes and imagine yourself in a forest, and the trees are so strong and stable, and the sun is shining above, and it's a beautiful pattern that is made between the sun and the boughs of the trees. These pretty little patterns that are created through the shade and light. So imagine yourself in the lush green forest, the energy that nurtures each other and works together and is celebratory at different times, bringing in that energy of your close community, the ones you love. So it is here that I took a good look at what I had created here, and I found that the self square in the center really needed to be filled with golden white light, and I just poured it on, brought it out from the center, and love the way that this color stands out now. And I started to put in the travel information: smooth sailing, easy and flowing. We always want to have that. So if you are thinking about traveling this year, just close your eyes and imagine that it is smooth sailing. You're exploring, you're going on an adventure. It's easy. You learn so much. It's so educational. It expands your mind. Just keep going back into different squares now, into the career square. It is solid foundation, fulfilling, it's sustainable. I'm just looking at each square. I'm just rounding out how I'm feeling about each one, and really looking at it. And this brings the conclusion to how this came about. What am I putting on here? Perfect connection. Hope you've enjoyed that. Keep in touch. Love you.